As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today I want to say welcome to the month of March and happy Women's Month.
All righty. Yep, we got through Black History Month. It was great. I was so exhausted from Black History Month. It was an activity like it seemed like every other week. Every day, actually, it appeared, but we got through it. So now we are here celebrating Women's History Month, and I'm excited about it. And I know that's your favorite client.
Oh, yes. That's my favorite target segment there.
So ladies, congratulations. And we're celebrating you for the entire month for the queens that you are. And today we have a great show, and we're going to highlight some important factors in regards to women in business and women are not just business in the United States, but international. Because I actually think this is Women's International Business Month. Isn't that what it is? Yeah.
Yes,
so it's international. So we're going to celebrate women all over the world and doing business. And I surprised Gilbert with a whole lot of facts and figures and statistics. And
you have made my day.
I made his day today. So welcome. Glad to see you, Gilbert. How was your week?
Oh man, my week was pretty good. We didn't have an SBA navigator class this week, but did a lot of one-on-one coaching with the small businesses, and I'm very happy that they're actually doing their homework assignments and getting their business in order. So I'm pleased about that. Very pleased.
Okay. All right. That is good.
How about you? What have you been doing?
My week was it was actually kind of busy. I took off my girlfriend, and I'm going to share some pictures in a few minutes. My girlfriend's birthday, her 60th birthday was on Wednesday, the 2nd. And so she always goes all out for birthdays. Mm-hmm. And so we all went to Temecula, and we went hot air ballooning. And so I am going to show you some pictures that I took, or actually we went live on, so I got to find them, and I'll show you some pictures. So I don't know, have you ever been hot air ballooning?
No, not at all. And I don't think I ever will.
It was the most incredible experience.
Really?
Yeah, it was not, we thought it was going to be frightening, but here's the thing. When we took off, we didn't even know we had ascended into the heavens. It was phenomenal, dude. Just phenomenal. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before.
Maybe when I was in my 20s, I probably would have tried it, but now in my 60s, I'm not touching that at all.
Are you scared, man?
Yeah. Oh yes, not touching that at all, man. I remember I went parasailing, and that was probably about, I don't know, 14 years ago or more.
Okay.
And I did it just to impress a girl. Oh my Lord. We went to Catalina Island.
Okay.
And Catalina, the body of water is filled with sharks, right? It's filled with bull sharks, right? And those sharks are very aggressive. Man, I was up there. I was so nervous, man. I'm going, please don't let the wind die so this thing will hit the water.
Made you a little nervous.
I was very nervous. I'm sure she could tell I was too, man.
Oh, okay. Was she nervous?
No, she wasn't. That's the thing about it. She's a little thrill seeker. So I'm up there all, all nervous, and she's looking at me like, come on, man up.
Oh, so that might have been a experience that probably put a different oh, what's happening here, a different theme on things, right? If
Yeah,
you if
yeah.
you're trying to impress the young lady,
Oh, yeah.
and it didn't work out that way. So I
Oh,
could see that. I could see that. Well, we were actually we weren't sure. I've seen it. I did my research, and they were saying that it was very safe, and the outfit that we actually we went with, they've been in business for over 40 years.
mm-hmm.
And so I was willing, we all was willing to go on out there and give it a shot.
How long
So
were you guys up there for?
we went up, and it was a beautiful day because we went up at 5 o'clock. We had to be, we were up at the to get on the balloon at 5:15 or maybe about 5:30. So we were up in the air from 6 o'clock until probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock, about
That's
7:30, 8 o'clock.
that's kind of dark up there, right? That time. Man, it's bad enough I got to get up in that, but up there while it's dark, no.
But no, by the time we got, the sun actually comes up at. I'm gonna share a little video with you guys so you can check it out.
So was that in the evening or the morning you were
No, we
doing
went
it?
in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
yeah, it was in the morning.
I thought it was 7 o'clock at night. I'm going, what?
Oh, no, 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 no. It was okay. So let me share. No, no, no. It was at. Okay. So that's the balloon. Oh, wait, there we go.
So that's the one you were in?
There you go.
That's
So
the one you were
that
in?
wasn't the one we were. No, that's not the one we were in. That was the one that was next to us.
Wow.
So right there, we were like 300 feet up.
I lived in a town where they do those balloon things every year, right? Did you
Oh,
know
really?
that? Yeah,
No, I
upstate
did
New
not.
York. Upstate New York in
Oh,
Binghamton, and
okay.
they have those balloon festival every year around about July, August, September, somewhere around there, man. And you'd have like dozens of balloons up in the air at the same time.
Yeah, I
Scary.
want to. In fact, we're all looking at going. Turn this off. We're all looking at going. A festival in Temecula is in the summertime. So we're going to go in May. That's when it is, in May. So
I
we're
give
gonna
you
go
credit, man.
for.
I give you credit.
It was an amazing. I mean, it was so beautiful up there, and I was trying to find the picture. I think I have it's on my phone. I have to send it over. But I was trying to what we because the sun rose just as we were up there, and oh my God, it was just absolutely beautiful with the sun coming up and hitting the I'm gonna share this onto my Facebook page so that I can just show it. And then just hitting the top of the balloon, it was beautiful. That's all I can say. It was just absolutely gorgeous and
Man,
not frightening.
I give you respect, man. I give you respect for that because I'm not going up there. No way.
Say no way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
Yeah, it was an awesome heady experience.
Yeah.
So the next time I would, well, what another friend of mine, let me see if I can. So this one, this is all of the balloons, and I was trying to find the one that had the sunset, had the sunrise. There you go. My girl, but this was on her bucket list.
Oh,
So
really?
she's been wanting to do this for years.
So now
And
she's good.
she has done it. And so
I,
now
I hope her next bucket list item isn't to go swimming with sharks.
no. She's not much into the swimming with the sharks, but
Oh,
she is thinking that she would like to she would like to. Now she wants to parachute jump.
Oh, really? Now,
Yeah, I'm not one for that. I'm not. I don't need to do that.
you're not that brave, huh?
I'm not that person. I'm not. But the anything on the lower, even though, and that was like we were 2,000 feet up. And so that wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
2,000 feet up, and the basket was solid. And as the young man said, "Look, I've been doing this for years, and there is no way I'm going to kill myself. So therefore, y'all don't have to worry." This is the one I wanted to show you. I want to share the screen here, and that is the. Hold on, let's see. It should
So
pop up.
where was this that you guys did this? Where was
We
it?
did this at Temecula. We did this in Temecula,
Okay. Yes.
and so you down below is
Yeah.
all of the wine vineyards.
Yeah.
So you see the wine vineyards, and
Mhm.
so that's the balloon right there.
Yeah.
One of the balloons that was going up next to us, and ours was actually called California Dreaming, and so it was pretty cool. So there you
So
go.
did it ever go over the ocean or it just stayed over land?
No, it didn't go over the ocean. It only went as far as there's a lake up there,
Yeah.
and that's it. And it just went up. We went 2,000 feet.
Yeah.
But see how beautiful that was.
Yeah, that's nice.
Uh-huh.
So you guys stayed in the area. You didn't have to drive all the way down there, right? Is that you? Is that you?
That's Daisy. That's my
Oh, that's
girlfriend.
you.
That was her. That was her with her tiara. We all had tiara, not up there, but she did. She had her tiara on. The rest of ours had ours on Friday. So that was what I did the last 2 days. Sorry, actually yesterday,
That sounds
and then we
exciting,
came.
man.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was 8 of us. 8 women, girlfriends of hers. She has one friend, some friends. She's had some friends for over 50 something years.
I'm gonna have to take out Keyman Insurance on you, co-host. So, that's to make sure nothing happens when you go on those adventurous trips.
So when I'm out there being crazy.
Yeah, when you're out there doing your thing, you gotta make sure you got the insurance policy there to cover everything.
Oh, you only live on this earth one time, Mr. Gilbert.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
So we got to live it to the max. And once I did my research, and they basically said that it was a safe endeavor, and that you weren't going to go up too high, and that the basket could hold up to 20 something people, although I don't think ours did not have 20, and it was a very solid basket.
It wasn't windy at all, so it
wasn't windy thing. And they don't, and that was the thing that really made me feel comfortable. They don't go up at all if they do all these air tests and scientific checking the wind capacity and no precipitation in the air, and if the wind is even blowing 5 to 10 knots, they don't go up.
The thing is, in the morning like that, the wind is never usually that rough, Around about midday and into the afternoon is when it starts getting rough. But in the morning like that, it's calm, pretty calm.
It was very, very calm. And so so they and just looking, I mean, no different than standing on a skyscraper looking out or on a balcony. I mean, it's the same thing, unless you got a fear of heights.
So you get to check one more thing off your bucket list there, co-host.
I do. Yeah, hot air ballooning.
What's the next one? What's the next thing on the list?
I think I want to, and I think that's definitely doable. I would like to go to Dubai. And but
they have that building up there, like 137 floors, and then when you get up there, you got this glass floor, right, that you walk on, and it seems like you're gonna fall down. Is that the one you're trying to do next?
Well, maybe I don't know about, but I just like to go there. But I've done some. I think the scariest. Well, obviously I've skied and skied at extreme heights, all pretty much all over the western side of the countryside. I've river raft, fell in the river, and had to be dragged back into the boat. So I've done that. What else have I done that maybe would be a little bit hiking in the sequoias and camping in the sequoias where the bears are.
Oh my Lord.
I've done he's like, oh my Lord, I've done that. We've gone there's some caverns up in Northern California. We've gone up there and it's got these crystal steeples, and so that was pretty interesting. Seen some bats and things, been to the Grand Canyon. So all of those places we have been. It's that's just the one only thing that has scared me or frightened me is I don't know if I would be good at. I'm not parasailing. I've gone wave running and all that kind of stuff. Parasailing, I'm not sure if I would ever want to do that. But if you understand, maybe zip lining, that might be something. Go to the Congo. I mean, not to the Congo. Go to like Costa Rica somewhere. Do the zip line.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's ever scared me was actually on one of those rope bridges that is extended across the like a river or something,
and it's shaking,
and it's shaking like that. Yeah, we took my Girl Scouts up to camping, and we went to a place, and that was one of the activities. We were up in San Bernardino, and that was one of the activities. And so we had to go across the little bridge. Now these are kids, so I can't be afraid in front of the kids, right?
That's right.
So I had to go across and then encourage them to come across at the same time. My heart was going boomity, 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 but I couldn't let them see that I was frightened. I had to play it off.
See, that's the reason why you are our featured woman of the month, because of all those trailblazing and adventurous treks that you've been on. So you welcome to the Business Zone, my fearless leader.
How many other people out there in the audience are fearless and they just enjoy doing what they do? I mean,
I'm sure there's a few more, but they probably are not as fearless as you.
So what's the most fearless thing that you've done, co-host?
Oh man, beside the parasailing?
Yeah, besides the parasailing.
I went on one of those rides at the amusement park at what's the name of that amusement park near Disney? What's the name of it? In Orange County. Knott's Berry Farm. Knott's Berry Farm. We went on the one that goes straight up in the air, like 100-story up.
Oh, and then drops you?
And then it comes and it drops you down. Oh my Lord, that was because you're sitting on the outside, right?
Right.
It's like being on the outside of a building and watching yourself coming down at high speed. Oh my Lord,
so
that was scary.
Did your heart fall to the bottom of your feet?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. See, I couldn't do it now because I'd probably get a heart attack now. So that's why I'm telling you, most of those adventures, man, I wouldn't even think about right now because I'm sure I'll get a heart attack. And then that was one, and then the next one was in Pennsylvania. We went on this roller coaster ride. I think it's called the Monster or something like that. But man, that was awful.
Even that name sounds scary.
It was awful. It took me all the way up in the air, and then it come charging down, and then it take you back up, and this guy, oh my Lord, this thing is gonna fall off the wheels. I was so scared, man.
Oh, good Lord, that's hilarious.
So ever since those things, I said, And the last one I did was a parasailing one because I was trying to impress a girl.
Okay.
I said, never again.
That is too funny.
You know, just doing it alone is scary enough, much less knowing that there's sharks underneath you, and those sharks are very aggressive, and they're just waiting for you to come down.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that, see, I'm not much for, I'm not I'm a okay swimmer. I'm
Yeah,
not a, yeah, expert swimmer. Skiing and stuff is my thing. I mean, I've done, I've gone to lakes and stuff, but usually I have my, you have your, yeah, life jacket on and so forth. So yeah, I'm not much. As one of the kids, one of the we went to dinner or went to eat yesterday for breakfast, and this guy said, "Oh yeah, my next thing that I want to do is swim in the cage with the sharks." No,
what?
not no,
He
no, no,
is
no, no.
crazy.
Yeah.
He doesn't see what happened on TV with those things, right? No, 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 not me.
Yeah, not yeah. That's yeah, that one's a little bit much. So no, I don't want to do any swimming with the sharks. I don't want to go now. And again, and I'm not too thrilled with like scuba diving and all that sort of stuff because you have to
Yeah,
have that mask over your face
yeah, yeah.
and no, I'm not. That's not my thing either. I don't think
Mhm.
that's something that I can do either. I think
Yeah.
I'm much better with cold and hiking, and if it's river rafting where you actually can see the bottom of the water. If I can see the bottom, I'm good.
Yeah.
If the bottom is way too far for me to actually see, I'm not good. But that's
Well,
just me.
well, see, in my mind, I was thinking, man, if I hit this water and I see sharks, man, I'm fighting him before he gets me. You know, yeah, I know he's gonna take me down, but I'm getting a few punches in there first.
But when you were in Jamaica, you had to be much more adventuresome just because of the fact that you're living in Jamaica.
Yeah, yeah,
As a kid, I
yeah,
mean,
you scale those mountains and you rivers and all of that. That was the height of the excitement. Because you
okay.
got one of the tall mountains, the Blue Mountain that you can climb. It's like 1,704 feet high. So you
Okay.
scale that, it's like wow, a great accomplishment.
Now, were you closer to, were you guys near water where you grew up, or
Oh
you're more
yeah,
closer
oh
to the
yeah,
water? Okay, so you were a pretty good swimmer then.
yeah. Well, me no.
No, how can you be from the islands and
my
not be a
my
great swimmer?
my dad scared the heck out of me when I was a kid because the first time he took me to the ocean, man,
Uh-huh.
he threw me in the deep part of the ocean, and I couldn't swim. So that scared me. So I just learned enough just to save myself if I'm
Oh,
if I'm in deep water. But I'm not a great swimmer. Where because one of the thing is once I get in the water and start swimming, I get cramps in my legs. So
oh,
that scares me a lot because I don't want to get cramps when it's too deep and
oh, okay.
there's
Because
no
that,
one
I
to help.
mean, Jamaica, that's some beautiful water over there.
Oh yes,
I've
oh
been
yeah.
to couple. I've been over there with a cruise, and then I went and hung out at the. It's beautiful. Anything in the Caribbean, the water is absolutely gorgeous.
Now don't get me wrong. Now I snorkeled all
Oh,
the way out in the ocean, like where the ships are.
okay,
The tourist ships. We go out there and they gave us rum punch and all kind of stuff from the ship, right?
okay,
And
okay,
that's shark infested water anyway. But for some reason that day, I was kind of scared, but not that scared. I'm going,
okay,
man, I
okay.
don't think the sharks are gonna mess with me. That's what I'm thinking. So that was a good day. We met the tourists all the tourists on the ship, and they said, come on up. They gave us rum punch and entertained
Okay.
us.
Now I will remember when I went to Jamaica. Where did we go to? What, I can't remember where we were. Wherever Dunn Rivers Falls is, where is that?
Ocho
The El
Rios.
Torito, right? So
Yeah.
we came off there. We come out, and when you come off the ship, of course, all of the merchants are right there because there is money for them, right?
Yeah.
I felt like I was under siege because everybody was trying to sell me everything under the
Yeah, that's
sun.
what they do, man. They're just trying to find that sucker that will spend some money with them. So
Right. And it was like, I don't want any of this stuff over here. And they would not. I mean, talk about pressure sell.
and
I
then they're
just
telling
bought some
you
two little.
how it's good for you and all of that, right?
Right, exactly. I think I bought these two little ugly figurines. Let's just give it to me. Cause they were relentless. It was like, wow, these are some salespeople.
Oh yeah. And you see how relentless they are with you with the product.
Uh-huh.
That's how they are with the women too, man. They're relentless. They're not giving up. You're telling them no, they're still going at it. And you can tell them 100 no's. That still doesn't
And
deter
still
them.
don't, yeah, they were relentless salespeople, I'll tell you that. I'm
Oh
like,
man.
oh my God, just give me whatever that little ugly thing is right there. Just give that to me. Just
Just give
leave
it
me
to me
alone.
so I can shut you up and leave me
Here's some
alone.
money. Just take it. Just buy.
Oh
But we
man,
did have a good time there
that's good.
when we were there.
So it sounds
And
like you had a great week, co-host.
I did have a good week. This was a good week.
You
And
needed that though. You needed that kind of getaway therapy type thing.
I did. Because I've been working pretty hard. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it was only really a half a day. So we left at Monday about no when yeah the second. So we left about 11 o'clock, and we pulled into Temecula about, I don't know, I guess it's probably about 1:30, quarter to two.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got into our hotel. I do like traveling, and it's been feel like it's been forever since
Yeah.
one has been able to travel.
All right. Plus,
Since
you didn't have to use your passport, right?
No, I didn't have to use my passport, and it was during the week, so it wasn't a lot of people,
All right.
far as COVID. But I guess we may be coming on the other side of COVID. I don't know. We'll
I,
see.
I
But
hope so, man. I hope so. It's about time.
yeah, but everybody everybody had a good time. So that
Good.
was, and we were there to celebrate her birthday, so that was cool.
So you got a jump on the women's history month, huh?
Right, because 8 women went out and celebrated a birthday. Yeah, we had it. We all had. She requested that we all wear pink, so we all had on our pink. Um, and then when she got there, we all got tiaras, so we were her court. And we went to this really nice restaurant, though. It was called Pangay, but it was Greek and Italian food. It was incredible food. Everything that we ate, we had some wine that was spectacular. The hors d'oeuvres, everything was fresh. It was run by a family, the father, and I think they've been in business for over 50 years
Yeah,
down in that area. So it was good. It was good fun.
that's
Very,
good.
very
That's
good
good.
fun.
That's
So
good.
today we're gonna talk about women in business and Women's History Month. I pulled up some really great facts and figures,
Very
and our
good.
topic today is, what does it mean to be a successful businesswoman? And so I think that's a good topic, because when we think about it in this day and age, women are really very prominent in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jasmine, how are you? Women are very prominent in the business world, and I know, when you look around the businesses that they're creating, and their innovation and commitment to being successful businesswomen, I would say majority of my clients are women. What about yours? I have some men, but majority of them are women.
Yeah, most of my clients are women as well.
Okay.
That just works better for me.
And so we my clients are usually startups and small micro businesses, but your business, some of your clients are bigger, more medium sized to
Yeah,
large size.
yeah, yeah. I do a lot of medium size and large businesses. So I have a good mix. I have I have the 0 to 10 years old businesses. Then I have the medium size, and then a few large businesses sprinkled here and there.
And what would you say would be the for your would be the key factors for their success? The women the businesses that you've coached,
Well, I
consulted with.
would say one of the key factors to their success is that they listen and they pay attention to the advice and coaching that I give them. And when they follow that, they're more inclined to do better, because most of them don't really have the resource or expertise to do what they want to do. So someone who has knowledge, who has been in the industry for a long time, who brings that information to them and those resources to them, then once they take it and implement it in their business, it shows mark improvement. So they like that and they do that. So that's
Okay.
how I would say. And then another thing is, many of the women businesses, they're hungry. They're very hungry. So because they're hungry, they're doing what needs to be done to get to that objective. So
Yeah.
that's another reason why we see some success in that group, among that group.
And I think they're very passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them, sometimes, I mean, I always say businesses kind of fall in, most of our business owners fall into business, but I think a lot of women actually it's a plan, right?
Yeah.
They have a lot of skill sets and talents, and they can implement that, or actually launch and create a business. And I do coaching and workshops for the new Women's Business Center, so majority of the clientele over there are women. And I will tell you, when they come on and I give them all opportunities to express, let me know tell me what their kind of business they're doing. Oh my God, just the creativity, not your regular run of the mill kind of businesses, right? They're in
Right.
fashion, they're in, uh, they're, health and wellness. They're in, a couple of them of late. They're in, one is, I think, a winery. They're up in the Northern California area,
Yeah.
launching a winery. I think Cecilia, she's doing uh, Cecilia. What's her last name?
Um, what's the
So
name?
she
Moto.
Yeah, Moto. So she has a winery. So some very interesting, not your run of the mill type of businesses. So,
Yeah.
and they're so passionate. I just recently coached a woman that had written not one screenplay, but 4 screenplays.
Right.
And so she was in the process of getting it, marketing it out there to get somebody to buy it so she can get it produced. So those are the kind of businesses that I've been coaching and speaking with of late. So which is pretty cool. So that's
Also, here's another thing about uh, many of the women in business. If they have employees, they
uh-huh.
they tend to treat their employees like family, like how they
Mm,
would treat their own family. So they're looking out for them. They're trying to make sure they get their paychecks. They're trying to make sure things are taken care of for them. So that's another advantage, or I'd say
mm-hmm.
quality of business. Some of the business women owners that I've experienced, they
I
tend
know.
to.
Remember that in the very early days of the business zone, we interviewed one of your clients. They owned a food distribution, or was it not
Oh,
taco shells?
that was Amerisol Foods from in the
Yes,
valley. Yeah,
yeah,
with what's her name? Gosh, I can't think of her name now, but
yeah.
her and
It
her
was.
mom. Her and her
I was
mom.
just so yeah, her and her mom, and I was just so impressed. It started nothing. It was a scrap. It started from
They're
scrap.
immigrants. They came here as immigrants with a suitcase, and that's it.
Right. That's it. That's it. Just a suitcase. And then now they have a multi-million-dollar business. So
Yeah.
just, their tenacity is just is incredible,
Right.
what they put into their businesses. So we're going to talk about some very interesting facts and figures that we were able to collect about women entrepreneurship, both locally, nationally, nationally, and internationally. And because I think we don't talk about the numbers enough, right? So people,
Right.
you only see what you see, right? But if you
Right.
actually saw the numbers, it's quite impressive. So I am
Mhm.
going to, if we're ready to go,
Good.
I will share some
And
numbers here.
also, just want to let the audience know that also in the spirit of Women History Month, you're going to be doing that presentation to provide some statistics and some positioning of women in the business and the industry. But also, we're going to do a lot as part 2 of an interview with you, Crystal Mitchell, just to see. Just to let the audience know a little bit more about you, what you've been involved in, and how you're connected to the community.
Okay, that sounds fantastic, and my opinion on what it takes to be a successful businesswoman,
Yes. Yes.
in today's marketplace. So let's get going, everyone. So right there, that lady right there, Miss Oprah, she is the queen of the queen of the queen when it comes to business, and even what she parlayed, because there are a lot of journalists that don't create their own businesses. Oprah
Mm-hmm.
created her own brand. She was a
Yeah.
journalist and then she expanded that. So, for her, what it means to be a successful businesswoman, this is a quote that I found on her, and it was, "I think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail, and failure is another stone to greatness." And so, I think, as a woman, I do believe that's very true. We don't take failure. I mean, because every business owner, no matter when, where, who you are, male or female, there's the potential for you to fail, and in a
Right.
lot of cases, we do fail, even when it's all well planned out. We fail,
Mm-hmm.
but women, I think, tend to let that. They do feel that as a stepping stone, and we usually learn from that and go forward to really create great businesses out of that, in spite of the failure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here's some interesting let me do this, some interesting facts and figures for those of you that don't know. 49.6% of the world's population are women. And
Mm-hmm.
women business owners, statistics show that at least one woman is sitting at on the board of directors in around 40% of the startups, while more than half have women in executive positions, and just over a fourth of startups, or 28%, have at least one founder. And they're really working on that even more so now, mainly because there is definitely a disparity in how much money men make and women make. Now that,
Right.
I think we're still working on that equality. There is still truly an inequality on how much they get paid, especially if you're working in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
So that we do have to, we're working on that. But other
Right.
than that, that's 49% of the population, of the world's population, of women. And I might have to say, and these next statistics really tell you that around the world, women are really doing some amazing, amazing stuff in other countries. So 46% of the private businesses in Ghana are women owned. And
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much one of those patriarch kind of countries, or most of minority African countries are patriarch, not matriarchal. And so that was impressive, and very impressive information there. What do you think?
I think so too. It is. And I think the more resources they get access to, the more you're going to see those numbers grow, because women have this. well, not just women and immigrants, they have this thing wherein they get stepped on all the time and they cannot grow under the tutelage of other entities, man, corporations, that type of thing. So they have to forge ahead and do their own thing. That's why I see more and more of those are starting their own business and becoming entrepreneurs.
Right. And you do tend to hit that corporate ceiling,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And sometimes it's hard for a woman in a corporate world to get out of that administrative pool.
Hmm.
And I know the one thing that I was stifled when I worked in corporate was America was I wasn't allowed to use my creativity and all of my skill sets. You work for someone, so you kind of have to do it
Yeah,
the way they want you to do it.
right.
And so
Exactly.
that was one of the driving factors for me to start my own business. So around the world, 36% of small business owners are women. This is worldwide.
Hmm.
California has the highest proportion of women-owned firms in the U.S., and it comes in at about 1.3 million businesses owned by women.
Hmm.
Texas has more than 860,000 women-owned firms.
Hmm.
Um, More than 1,200 new businesses are launched by women every single day in the US.
Hmm.
And women owned businesses generate about $1.9 trillion in revenue. And
Hmm.
the growing rate of women owned businesses is 5%. And I will say, out of the pandemic and just in the conversations that we have had and the coaching that we have had, hello, Gloria, how are you? And the coaching that we have done, there's been a lot of new women businesses that came and were launched during the pandemic as a
Hmm.
result of the pandemic. And a lot of businesses, women business owners, really knew how to make that pivot.
Yeah.
They really knew how to make that pivot more
And
so than
remember, we talked about this a time back, but we do this every year because it's true. Women entrepreneurs, they tend to be able to make things happen from nothing. Just like your mom. When
yeah.
your mom, you come home and there's nothing in the house to eat, and all of a sudden you see dinner on the table and you go, wow, how do you do this? Where does the food come from? But she just goes in the cupboard, man, and she just puts some stuff together, and before you know it, you got dinner. You're going, dang, how
Right.
did
You go into the kitchen and only see empty shelves, and then
yeah,
you come back and
exactly.
it's like, here, have a seat. We're having
Yeah,
dinner.
you
Yeah,
got
women
dinner.
are amazing at that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
resourceful.
Very resourceful.
So
And
they're
just
the
think
same way
about
in business.
and think about our ancestors when they had even less than what we had, especially when we talk about our people and we talked about Black history. I mean, the things that these women, and they had a lot of restraints.
Yeah.
They had a lot of challenges to overcome in addition to trying to protect their families, their children, and not having the language. And I always marvel at women immigrants that have come over here from another country and actually make headway and make a way for themselves, create these successful businesses. um, and it doesn't look possible. Remember that young lady that we had, Christine Bigga?
Yes. Yeah. I need to reach out to her, man.
Yeah, she launched her podcast and she's doing quite well out
Oh,
there.
she did?
In fact, I think she has a television show, which is what she came here to do. We,
Yes. Yes.
but I'll
And she
get you
had
her.
an amazing story.
She had an amazing story. Anyone else would have left
Yeah.
and never when they gave her an option to stay in the States and go back to where she came from. A lot of people, men and women, would have said, you know what, no, I'm going back. This crazy place is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the stick to itness, I guess, is a good word,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So here's some more great statistics for women in business. 47% of women started a business in the last year compared to 44%. And that's what I said. There were a lot of women that launched businesses in 2021, 2022, but 2021 more so than men did. 62% of the women business owners are between the ages under the age of 59.
Mm-hmm.
Women own 12.3 million businesses in the U.S. alone. More than 9 million people are employed by women-owned business companies. So that's significant. Women of color are responsible for 89% of the newly created businesses in 2019. Hispanic women-owned businesses grew. Now this is huge. 172% in the past 10 years. Now, given a great deal of your clients are Hispanic, that's astonishing. Did you know that number?
No, I didn't know that number. I knew there was some movement going on and the numbers were good, but I didn't know they were that great.
That's a lot of growth.
Oh, yeah.
170 in over a 10-year period. And well, a lot of them are, first generation immigrants or second generation immigrants.
That means if there were 100 women-owned businesses before over the last 10 years, it grew to 172. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It grew from 100 to 272 because it went up 172%.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then I'm looking here at the data, and it says that around so they have about 1.9 million firms in the U.S. are owned by Hispanic women. The most current statistics are on the rise of majority women entrepreneurs for 2018 show. That means they're making big contributions to the economy and having employed over 550,000 workers and generated somewhere around $97 billion in revenue. Hispanic women business owners have the potential to produce 80,000 new work positions and the capacity to generate around 155 billion in revenue if the proportions are matched to those of the female entrepreneur and the female entrepreneurship statuses for 2020. So that's pretty impressive. For Black women, the numbers, as it said, 89% of the new created businesses in 2019. It's saying that the number has increased by nearly 163% in the past 45 years. 260 African American women opened new businesses every day, and that's pretty incredible stat considering that women of color make up about 39% of the U.S. population, and businesses managed and owned by women generate around $390 billion in revenue, according to the Women of Color Entrepreneur statistics.
And even though they're saying that it grew 163% over 45 years, I strongly believe it's a lot higher than that. This is just the data they could get because looking at our program there at the Urban League, most of the clients that we have that are registered and enrolled in the SBA Navigator program, most of them are women. Most of them are women. So that alone, if we use that little microcosm there alone, that will show that, this number 163, it's a lot more than that,
A lot more than that, exactly. So, because those are the women, these are the businesses that are actually recorded. These are the businesses probably that have paid taxes, the ones that obviously have employees. So you're doing you're on record, right? You're not operating under the radar. You're above the radar. So these are the businesses and that are registered their businesses. They have maybe created their a structure, their legal structures of their business. They're paying they're registered to for their city tax registrations and things like that. There is a lot of businesses that have not done that, and so therefore we would have no idea of what that number would be. So you're probably absolutely right.
And plus, they're saying that the spending power here are the revenues they generate, women, and including the women of colors and others, $390 billion in revenues that they generate.
That's a lot.
390 billion. Yes,
That's significant.
that's more than the state of California's budget.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Um, 10% of females launch a business in the healthcare sector. So,
Yeah,
in contrast to 5% of the males started a business in the healthcare industry in the past 2 years, according to the male versus female entrepreneur statistics. Additional 20% of women who worked in healthcare are employed by women business owners. Now, I have noticed when I'm at the New Women's Business Center, a lot of the women that were in the that were in the healthcare industry, nurses, home healthcare agency, worked at home healthcare agencies and things like that.
yeah.
There are majority of the women that are starting businesses.
And see, that's why I'm thinking this 10% is low too, because first of all, most women are known as natural nurturers. That's what they do. They nurture.
Right.
So most of the businesses they're going to start is going to be geared to what they're strong at, and it's nurturing. So, doing healthcare, doing home care, doing cleaning, house cleaning, those types of things. A lot of women we see in those types of, even janitorial services. I know a lot of our clients,
Yes.
women clients, are in janitorial, and they're
And
making a
cook
killing.
and the restaurant industry.
Yes, they're making a killing in those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm thinking this 10% number is really small. I'm thinking it's closer to 30%.
Possibly. Yeah, it could be.
If
Like
we
I
look,
said, it's
go ahead.
so many businesses that are not registered.
Yeah,
So these are probably, just obviously those that I would probably agree with you that there's probably that 10% is probably tripled,
yeah,
because a lot of them, especially now that a lot of after the pandemic, a lot of the workers in the healthcare industry were so overworked from working in hospitals and places like that, that they probably launched out on their own and
yeah,
created a more equitable work culture for themselves, and that gave them more time with their families, to spend more time with their families, and to feel and to receive and to acquire more fulfillment in the work that they did.
yeah.
Yeah, so you would start your own. So the next
Mhm,
one is 62% of women owners stated that their business is their main source of income.
mhm.
So um women-owned businesses are more than just casual hobbies. A lot of times, back in the day, a woman would just have a business or go out to work or get a job just to after her kids were old enough to go to school, and
Yeah,
it was to alleviate the boredom
yeah.
of
Just
being
just
at
have a
home,
little something to keep them occupied.
to keep them some, and then keep a little bit of money in their pocket, right?
Yeah,
So that they wouldn't have to ask their husbands for every little thing.
a little bit of me money, right?
A little me money, right? My mom used to call it mad money, my own mad money. So they said this percentage is strongly opposing the old assumption that women entrepreneurs are more likely to run lifestyle businesses than those who that would provide additional income. But most of the time, these women are creating businesses that are creating their mainstream source. And also, the other part of this too, Gilbert, is
Yeah,
that when women are divorced, especially when our parents were when our parents during our parents' generation and era, your credit and everything, your status was up underneath the umbrella of your husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if the husband and wife got divorced, then the woman had to really start all over from scratch because she
Right.
had no identity,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And so today, women they've established their identity, and they have their own credit, they have their own their own money, their own bank accounts, and things like that. Where from our parents and our grandparents era, that wasn't common for them.
You know, this is some great statistic, Crystal. I want to touch on this statistic here, which it's new to me and it's impressive to me.
What's that?
They're talking about a unicorn company. If you know what a unicorn is, they said there are 10 companies that became unicorn companies in the first half of 2019. And those are
Mm-hmm.
women-owned businesses. A unicorn company is a woman-owned business that generates over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. And they said there are 10 of those in the first half of 2019. So that right there is good news because a lot of people didn't think that women were billionaires. So
No.
except for Oprah and maybe Beyonce and
And those are kind of, entertaining type of
right,
industries, right? And I'm
right,
sure if we did did a deeper dive, we'd find out that those companies are probably in tech.
yeah,
I would imagine if we do some research, and we're looking for the next couple of shows in tech, health, and I would even say,
and
um,
petroleum, gas, fuel,
yeah, they petroleum, gas, but consulting
yeah,
and service industries. I think that's where you would probably find those very successful women. Um, and the financial industry. There are a
right,
lot of very high powered financial planners that are women. I
right,
remember when I was working at this company, there was one lady that worked in the company, and she was the star. She
hmm,
made most of the money in the company.
right, right,
um it was only this one woman, and she was a powerhouse. All her clients were
hmm,
wealthy, um older, established, conservative business owners, male business owners. And she would come in, and she was kind of flamboyant. Not
right,
She dressed nice. She's spent a lot of money on her clothing and stuff, but
right,
the woman killed it. And I
yeah,
was there for over 15 years, and she was always number one in the company,
mhm,
always number one in the company. So financial industries is probably another company, another industry that they're in. Now this
yeah,
one will be interesting to you.
right,
And that was male versus so this one is interesting. So
yeah,
this is male and female entrepreneur statuses in 2022. And so
hmm,
that's we'll look at number one, because this is something that we've all been working toward since the pandemic. Is women receive an average loan of $39,000, while men receive an average loan size of $44,000.
wow, that is unbelievable.
So they're saying there's a 5,000 difference for loans offered to women business owners and for those available for men-owned businesses. By increasing the loan amount request for women, the loan amounts would also rise. On an average, women ask for loans of 77,000, men ask for loans on average of 110,000. Hopefully, this will encourage women to start asking for more money when they're looking for funding.
Mm.
So that's pretty interesting
But see, the
information.
thing is, though, they ask for more money, but they don't get it
They
because
don't necessarily get it. I
yeah,
agree with
because
you.
the lenders think, oh, you can't handle that much money. How are you going to repay us? And how are you going to manage that type of funding? So instead, just like we experienced with the SBA recently, people apply for over 100,000. They're lucky if they get 20,000. You know,
Right,
so that's
exactly.
what the same thing that happened with a lot of these women. So yeah. So that's why the report is showing that they're getting lower amount of loans. It's not because they're looking for a lower amount. They want a higher amount, but that's what they
That's
got.
what they're getting is a
Yeah.
lower amount. This one I found interesting, and I don't know, and I guess this also reflects back to the earlier question. Is only 13% of construction, high tech manufacturing, and metal industries are led by women.
Wow.
There's a
Wow.
very small percentage of women in these fields, and less popular in the world of women entrepreneurs. But I
Hmm.
would imagine that that's one of those old boy networks, and
Yeah.
those kind of industries are passed down generation to generation.
Hmm.
Um, especially in manufacturing, they're usually engineers and things like that. But I think even women engineers are not even promoted on that
Nope.
level.
Nope. And they're not recognized either. So it's just
Hmm.
tough. It is just
Yeah.
tough.
Women are more likely to feel stressed about their businesses.
Hmm.
About 20% of women report increased stress after starting their business, and nearly a third having nightmares about the ventures failing. I do know that that's a conversation that I have with my women clients. They're
Hmm.
so afraid of failing, and a lot of times that's the hesitation, and they it takes them a long time to launch because
Hmm.
they're trying to create perfect businesses out the gate.
Right.
And so with that being the case, I think they tend to lose out on certain opportunities
Right.
where I think men are more they will take on more risk when it comes to starting a business or launching a business.
Right.
I don't know if they have less at stake than women, but it says that women are less optimistic and less confident when it comes to sales growth, earnings per share, the number of employees compared to their male counterparts. So I do think that women they think smaller when it comes to when they first launch their business. I
Right.
know when I have that conversation with business owners on what's the future goals of their business, they're usually very small.
Hmm.
I don't know if you have that same experience with your women businesses that you
Well,
consult as a
they
coach.
think smaller because they're thinking we don't get much opportunities. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to generate as much to sustain this loan or this funding that I get. So I want to start out this way first and see if I can grow to be able to take care of it. So that's usually what happens.
Yeah, because I find them that when you ask them, okay, so what are your projections as far as revenue, and they're really tiny. But if you
Yeah.
ask a man that same question, his projections and forecasts is much larger
Yeah.
than hers. But I think she's more risk adverse than he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because remember, the less opportunity and access to resources you have, the more risk you got to take. Because there's nothing that's going to help you. So you have to take some risk and see, okay, is this going to work for me? Is this going to work for me? So that's how it
Yeah,
works. Yeah.
that's what I see. I think women are a lot more cautious when it comes to jumping right out there, whereas a man sometimes will jump right out there, and whatever happens happens after they got
Yeah.
there. They'll deal
Because
with it once
because
it
they got
happens.
their little support team, their little good old boy network to help them out.
Right.
I just sent you a link right now. I want you to take a look at this link. This is the 10 richest women in Africa.
Okay,
10
I will.
richest.
Oh, okay. So I'll show that in just a second. 350 newly founded companies show that women-owned businesses are safer for investors, which is interesting because banks don't think that,
Yeah, exactly. And
right?
that's a great point and statistic you're bringing up because a lot of us we tend to take more caution because like I mentioned before, we don't get much resources or opportunities, so we protect what we have. Women do the same, and they just are not recognized. I did a research one time, Crystal, and only 4% of women own business or entrepreneurs receive loans. 4% receive contracts.
Yeah.
7% of them may be lucky if an investor invests in their business.
And so it's saying here, recent research shows that businesses founded by women earn twice as much money than those founded by men. The reason behind this could be the fact that women are relying on their business as the primary source of income. Female entrepreneurs usually face greater difficulty when it comes to obtaining capital for their business, and are submitted to more scrutiny than their male. But it seems like the investor is willing to take a chance on her. And one of the reasons is women are less likely to file bankruptcy than men, according to statistics on bankruptcy. So I guess the men will go, oh, okay, this ain't gonna work. And I remember, and that might be true, because I remember a boss that I had, and when his business didn't work, he didn't go into any major conniptions. He just went and filed bankruptcy, and then created and launched a new business under a new name, a new EIN, established the credit, done his D&B, and moved on. And I'm like, how do you do that? Whereas women don't necessarily
can't do that. They can't really do that. They can't afford to.
They don't necessarily do that. So I find that absolutely interesting. Okay, so let's look at, I'll pull this up and I'll share. I'll stop this share for a minute. And let's look at the 10.
Now the number one, the number one woman on that list, she makes a few billions, but she's been involved in some embezzlement scheme too. So I only put her up there just because she's a top earner. But yeah, she's involved in some litigation. So we'll skip over her quick.
Is this the first one?
Yeah, that's her. Is her? Is it Isabel dos Santos?
Okay, so $2.2 billion is her net worth. She's 47. She's from Angola, and she's the daughter of the super rich Angolan president. So I can see that probably being the case. Let's see. Her first business. She had a Miami Beach club, and today she owning several companies. Okay, so she's under some embezzlement right now.
Yeah.
Right, and this lady is.
So the second one, she was rivaling Oprah. I think she's involved in oil and petroleum in Nigeria.
She's out of Nigeria. Oh my gosh, she looks amazing. That's probably at 69 years old. She's the second richest woman in Africa after the Sotos. And she has a fashion brand called Supreme Stitches. And maybe we are in the wrong country doing business. We need to be doing international business. She's a respected billionaire with business interests in areas of, I remember this lady, fashion, oil and gas, retail, printing, and the retail industry. I think she came to America. And, Alfred Franzo Washington, he does that panel.
He was on our show.
Yeah, well, she came here, and I met her at one of his conferences that he had. She's a really nice lady.
Yeah.
She started, so it's her family-owned business. I think she started as a secretary or something in the business. This woman here, who is this lady? Net worth 87 years old, Kenya. She is known as Mama Nija, Gina, and is the widow of Kenya's first president. And she handles the family.
Your name.
Huh?
If you scroll up your name.
Nija Kenyatta. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty, lady. And so she owns investments, banking, farming, education, insurance, hospitality, manufacturing, and retail.
You remember we talked about those industries being industries successful among us?
Yes.
And that's what she's in.
That's what she absolutely. There you go. This lady is Hajah Bala, messing up her name.
Sagaya.
Sagaya. And
Yeah.
she is Nigerian, $630 million, born into an average family. And she started her business career as importing a photographic equipment for resale after quitting her job as an auditor for the bank. Now that's an industry that we should be thinking more of getting into, is the importing export business, because there is a lot of money to be made in import export. We are missing out on a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
Wendy Applebaum, she's 152 million from South Africa. She's the fifth wealthiest woman, and she what's her business? A real estate agent, a real estate company owned by her father, and she later went on to co-found the Women Investment Portfolio Holding. And that's what I'm saying. Women are really getting into the financial industry. She is the owner of 224-acre wine farm. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Winnie Ackerman. Wendy is from South Africa, and she is a retail tycoon, and acting director of a $3 billion South African company. And then Irene Sharnley, and Irene is from South Africa as well. And she is a negotiator for the National Union of Mine Workers. All righty then. Bridget Radiby, and she's she is the oldest sister of South African billionaire Patrice, and she has her interest is in mining. Sharon Wapnick, and she also South African. Is often traced to her father. But she has holdings in property loans, stock companies, and investments, and so forth. So again, those financial industry that's where the money is. Elizabeth Bradley, also South Africa, and
she's at 19 million.
Yeah, 19 million, and she has a holding company. Looks like it's in career in business as a managing of a holding company called Westco Investments, and they own a stake in Toyota. Wow. And she sold her stake for $320 million, and she walked away with $150 million.
See,
all righty, so there you go. Yeah, but I think it's about those investments. It's about the fact that you can have these businesses, but you don't have to keep them.
Right.
Like that lady right there, she had the business, but she didn't keep it to the fact that she ended up giving just holding on to it when you can sell it and make a whole bunch of money.
That is true.
So let me jump over here to finish these last two, and then we'll jump over to me.
Okay.
The last alrighty. Last certificate. So this one's interesting, and this is one I think they've been working on for a while. So women employment statistics, 50% of startups have at least one woman on the board. In 2019, there were like 50% of companies have women in top executive positions. And I think this is something that the women or organizations and lobbyists and so forth have been working on, is to increase the number of women in top executive positions. So but now the next area that they have to work on is the number of women of color that are in those top executive positions. 10% of the healthcare startups are owned and operated by women. I think we already kind of knew that. We just covered that. And 59% of startups have programs designed to increase the number of women in leadership positions. And I think that's what's happening, because so many women hit that ceiling,
Yeah.
and they can't go any further. And
Right.
then this one is very important to us because of the industry that we're working in, and the organizations that we work with. Only 25% of women seek financing for their business, and I think that's really true. I think the pandemic put us in a position where there are a lot of people that received funding during the pandemic that would not have normally even have asked for money.
Yeah.
So that's what this is saying, that around 65% of startups have some kind of program with the purpose of increasing the number of women in no, that's 25%. So in contrast, 34% of men are likely looking for investors for financing and capital, whereas most women just operate with a tight budget and are on the smaller side, and explains why they only generate 4.3% of the total annual revenue in the private sectors.
Yeah.
So I think they probably, like, I think it's what you said, that they don't get the loans.
Right.
So they stop asking for them,
Mm-hmm.
and they just go, they're truly the bootstrappers, I believe.
Mm-hmm. They try to find other ways of funding their business.
Mm-hmm. 22% of women search for funding to launch a new business. So it depends on the business. I think if the money was more available to them, and I think I've been reading that there are a lot more women equity firms popping up, where their target market is women in business and entrepreneurs, because if they were able to get more funding at the beginning, then they would be able to create larger businesses, which then could generate much more revenue overall, and be able to employ even more people. Right.
Yeah.
So, women's statistics show that 59% of women would like to have funding for their business, but it doesn't always appear to be an option for them. Um, 46% of women use credit cards for their business.
Mm-hmm.
I've coached a lot of women, and they usually have a lot more debt. But again, that's their opportunity. If they're not getting funding, then what are they doing? They're
Yeah.
using their business credit in order to grow their business,
Right.
which puts them in debt
That's right.
up front. And then finally, women entrepreneurship statistics indicate that women who seek funding are successful in 31% of the cases. And that's why it should be more available, because in order to scale your business, you do require funding.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, and that's the problem with minority owned businesses. We don't have the capital so that we can say, in what would you say, Gilbert, 2 to 5 years, you should be ready to, one, in the first couple of years, be able to have 1 to 5 employees, and then in that 5 to 10, be able to hire more, and depending on the business that you're doing, because the more employees that you have at your disposal, the larger your revenues will be, because you now can scale up,
Right.
and you can
Right.
create, you can increase your capacity.
Yes. And usually many of these businesses, if they're startup, which they're 0 to 3 years old, they're lucky if they can bring on an employee within that 3 years. It's really
Right.
difficult, because that's when they're really trying to generate as much money as they can to sustain themselves, sustain the business, and sustain their homes. So after the 3 years is when you start seeing some movement. Now, there are some who show signs of hiring before the 3 years, which is luck. They may get a contract, but if they don't have a contract, then you'll see that happening after 3 years, 3 to 5 years. You'll see them hiring 1 or 2 employees then. And then after 5 years, then they can start bringing on more employees.
Exactly. Um, yeah, because that's the only way you can really get up into those $1 million revenue streams. if you can be in a position to hire employees, because you do what you're supposed to do, what you do best, and that's bring in the business, be creative, that kind of stuff. But you need a support team in order to manufacture and produce the products for yourself, or a support team to help you be able to produce the services that you're providing. So so in honor of, and in conclusion, women have made an enormous effort to be presented in the world of entrepreneurship. Their impact is remarkable, and the likelihood, and they show the likelihood that they will grow. And women have shown that they can have a higher company success rate, but they tend to take in fewer risks. Than a male run company. And companies that are owned and led by women prove to be a safer option for investors, yet they still struggle to attain the capital they need, according to the women's entrepreneurial statistics. This is likely to change in the up and coming years as women presence in the world of business has become the norm. So I would say to women, build those bigger business ideas and concepts and expand your network, and then reach out to those investors that campaign for women business owners, and see your value, and see that you do have the stick to itness, the passion, the commitment, the fortitude in order to push your business to that next level. Don't be afraid. Do your homework. So if you have your business plan, have your projections, have your business in have your business structure solid, have your financial structure of your business solid, um um and take some risks. I think if you really know your business as well as you should know your business, and if you have a business plan that can help guide you, and if you're doing your SWOT analysis and understanding what your strengths are, don't be afraid to jump out there and take and look for new opportunities that can help and grow your business. Develop a product, as Gilbert always says, and look for other ways to develop revenues for your business. But you're gonna have to take some risks. You know, you don't get the benefit without some of the risk.
Gotta take the risk, man. It comes with the package.
Right, exactly. But they're calculated risks. If you've planned out your business and you understand the industry that you're in, then these are calculated risks, because you have data that can help guide you to make sure that you're not going to fail. But if you got to get out there and try. And as I always say, and you guys know it, partner with some people, collaborate with some people, so you're not taking on the full 100% of the risk. Collaborate with someone that can help you take that business to the next level. And then I'm going to have to say this to everyone. Once you get that business to that place where it's attractive, and there's a potential that someone would want to buy that company, then sell it.
Right. And that's how you grow. You grow towards someone acquiring your business, because you may never know, the deal that you may get to sell your business might be a sweet deal that you may never see again in a lifetime. So and that's why it is so crucial, Crystal, for every small business, women-owned, minority, and other businesses. It's crucial that you do a valuation on your business to know the value of your business. Because if someone approaches you to say, I want to buy your business and I'll give you $1 million for it, and you checked it out and you see where your company is actually valued at 3 million or 5 million, but they're offering one, now you got some negotiating room to talk. But if you're not paying attention to that, man, you could easily give them away your business for nothing.
Right, exactly. So know your valuations. But if we notice that 3 of those people on that list, the wealthiest women in Africa, they sold their businesses. They sold them for and they were able to create a huge wealth
Mm-hmm.
from the sale of that. And then you can go into another business, and now you have all the resources that you need and all the capital that you need.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's my presentation for women. What did I have? I spelled month wrong. I have to fix that. Um, that's my presentation for women in business. We're going to have some great guests this month. I'm working on all of that right now,
Right.
and celebrating women in business, and this month for March. But that we just wanted to kick it off. So Gilbert, you want to conduct the balance of the?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
All
We
righty.
all want to know what our Crystal Mitchell is up to. So yes. Yes, we definitely want to do that. So, folks, you are watching or listening to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We come on every Friday from 3 to 4:30. And we talk about great things in business. We provide advice, we provide coaching tips, we provide information and resources that you can use to help grow your business, start your business, advance your business, scale your business, and just maintain a good level of manageability in your business. So that's what we do here. And today we have none other than our co-host, Miss Crystal Mitchell, that we're going to talk to. We're going to have a conversation with her to see how she got into this industry, how she became an entrepreneur, why she became an entrepreneur, and also how does she see her contribution in the industry as a woman in this industry. So, Miss Crystal Mitchell, welcome, welcome again to the Business Zone. And
Hello, how
and
are you?
you have a lot of people out there who love you and they support you, and they want to know a little bit more about you. So let's start again, because for those who missed last week's show, Crystal Mitchell started many years ago as an entrepreneur, and just like most of us, she run into economic situation where organizations start retooling and reorganizing, and they start cutting the fat and shifting people around, and she became a casualty of that. So that's part of how she got started as an entrepreneur. So Crystal, go ahead and tell our audience a little bit about you.
So that's exactly right. Businesses retooled, the economic environments retooled the whole world, and created deficits. And I also recognized very early on that I did not. And this is an advice to all women. Sometimes we have to start off in that administrative pool in order to just get our door in the business world. But once you get in there, then it's my advice to gather as many skills that you can acquire while you're working for a company. Have them send you back to school and start stockpiling the skills, especially skills that you can use to provide services for other people that are in the same shape as situation. And so that's what I did. I actually I did my research. I was looking for recession proof tools, and so for me, a recession proof tool is accounting and bookkeeping, because it doesn't matter what type of business you're in, you need to keep track of your income and your expenses. And so that was a very valuable tool for me, and that's how I started my business, using that school. And I also teaching other people um, other skills that they need in order to run their business. And that's the very beginning of my business, and that's actually where I am today. So I provide those services for my clientele.
And you're also teaching them how to think out of the box and be resourceful and creative, so they can grow their business in a more non-traditional way, instead of the traditional way of going through step 1, step 2, step 3, right?
Well, I think that there's the entrepreneurial business owner,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is a business owner,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So the entrepreneurial business owner sees opportunities out of it, could be it's like vapors in the air, right?
There's
And
an opportunity in everything.
is an opportunity in everything. So an entrepreneur, business owner sees everything as an opportunity, and they look and see where they can fit, and they can create a business out of thin air. I think a business owner is that person. I know how to cook, so I'm going to start making some chicken or some barbecue, and that's the only thing I'm going to focus on, right? And that's my business. There is no outside of the box. There's no other resources that I'm going to acquire, because this is what I do. And so in my opinion, those of us that are entrepreneurial and our business owners have a larger have more opportunities available to us to become more successful. I don't know, that's just my thought process, but I do know when I coach, most people are very linear in their business with their business ideas, and they don't think outside of the box. And so that's one of the things that I do is I help you expand what your potentials are and what your opportunities are. Hello, Melanie. How are you? So, and I'm sure you've seen that, right, Gilbert? Gilbert, you're that way. I mean, you've created a business that you. Hello, Melanie. Melanie said, I agree with the definition of entrepreneur versus business owner. Now, Melanie is she's also an out of the box financial person. She teaches on financial literacy, and but she got some really creative, phenomenal ways that she does that and how she makes her money. But that's what I think. And so, yes, I do teach people how to think outside of the box.
Excellent, excellent. So, as a woman business owner in this industry, Crystal, how do you see, what challenges do you face or you come across daily, weekly, or monthly, whether it's from clients or from business opportunity providers? What type of
Say that
challenge?
again.
What type of challenges do you come across as a woman business owner in the industry from either clients or business opportunity providers? You know, such as the Edisons or the gas company or banks or whomever. You know, what type of
I
challenges?
I think those challenges are they too are linear thinkers.
Uh-huh.
And if they can't see a direct line to that opportunity, they're not visionaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think sometimes when you go to do work, when you're going to seek contracts for them, if you don't have the exact skill sets that they're looking for,
Yeah.
I think that's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think from a client standpoint, the clients have to really get to know um, what they're looking for, and then see where they fit in that bigger picture, right? And
Mm-hmm.
making sure they're fine tuning their skill sets so that they do have the skills or the opportunity to meet the contracts that those individuals have.
Now, do you ever come across a client or clients that they tend to try to treat you differently because you're a woman service provider?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my experience, and is that and I was just having this conversation with a colleague of mine. So my personality is kind of easygoing. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
do what I do, and I'm not, I don't brag about all the stuff that I do.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy what I do. I love what I do, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes in the business world, people feel that they have to be in full throttle all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not that one of those people. But I think sometimes they think that, okay, maybe that she could be a pushover,
Yeah.
and so then I have to, like,
And
no,
they'll test boundaries, huh?
they'll test some boundaries, and then I'll push the boundaries back where they're supposed to be, and
You
then
you
we don't have any more
you
problems.
clap back. You
I
clap back.
clap back. I clap back. And then I go back to being who I am. But every now and then you got to clap, clap. That ain't me. I'm not the one.
And people will test boundaries. You know, they see you, they don't know you, and they figure, okay, let me do this traditional barrier imposing thing to see, where she falls. If she stand up to me or if she quiver and run away. But what most of them found out is that you're not going to quiver and run away. You're going to stand chest to chest with them.
Right, exactly. And here's the other thing is that because I am an out of the box, as Melanie said, push back, right? So Melanie, we need you to have you on the business zone because girl, everybody needs to know you out there doing what you do. Um, yeah, it's like they think, yeah, I guess they'll try you. Both male and female sometimes. Mostly males will try to push you and try to see if they can test the boundaries. But you can still do that with dignity
Yeah,
and get your point across.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Right. But I think, Gilbert, if you're confident in your skill sets and
Yeah,
what you bring to the table,
yeah.
and you have a love for what you do, and the confidence that you are achieving and creating goals and outcomes and measures and outcomes for the people that you've helped, it's
Mhm.
so much easier to do that clap back and keep moving,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But you have to have confidence in what you bring to the table.
yes. Now, so we've seen a lot of statistics on women-owned businesses, where they're going, where they're coming from. And I'm sure it's going to get better over the years. But what are some of the things you think that business entrepreneurs or business owners can start thinking about including in their plethora of skills or resources to make this a better marketplace for them?
I think they need to enhance their technical skills. I think they need to retire the statement, "I'm technically challenged,"
Mhm.
because that's not funny anymore.
Now,
Because
what are the technical skills you're thinking of that they could?
I'm thinking that one, you have to become pretty astute on how to market your business online,
Mhm,
how to network online,
mhm.
how to create dynamic proposals and dynamic PowerPoint presentations, because
Yeah,
this is even once we get past the pandemic,
yeah,
we're still going to be doing business this way.
yeah,
And the other part of this is we don't have to do business just right with our neighbors,
right,
right? We can
right.
do business
Across the world. Yeah,
around the world. And I think that's the other thing is expanding your marketplace.
yeah.
That it shouldn't, if you're in California, that should not be the only place you do business, right?
I think we
You
should
should,
have a program on expanding our marketplace uh, outside of California. What do you think?
I love that idea.
Yes, I think that
I
will be very helpful.
Yeah, because the services we offer,
Yeah.
everyone needs them,
Oh,
whether
yeah.
they're here in the United States or they're in another country.
Hmm.
We have skill sets that are transferable across the world,
Yeah.
and we should have a bigger vision. But in order to do that, that means you might have to go back and invest in your technical skill sets
Right.
and expanding your knowledge and being able to look outside of your back door and look around the world.
So, Crystal,
Oh, that's a good one. Melanie says, and stop using Cash App for business purposes. I totally agree.
exactly. That's so, because that's an informal way of doing things, and people don't recognize or respect you in business when you do that. The Cash App stuff. It's like, no, that's not what we're doing. You don't see the bigger organizations doing Cash Apps. They don't do that.
Why would you? If you're using an accounting system, there is a platform. I mean, in QuickBooks, you generate your revenue, your invoice, and you send it to them, and they can use their credit card, which is what they're doing for their Cash App,
Yeah.
and they pay to pay. But the problem is, hey, Gloria, but the problem is they don't want to pay the transaction fee. That's
Mhm.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's why they use a Cash App,
Right.
because they don't want to pay the 2.75%. They want to, but that's business. So that's a business expense, which you can write off, which will now save you from, save you from, yeah, give you a deduction on your taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the difference. So having a good accounting system, a bookkeeping system can help you not use Zelle, not use Cash App. I mean, you can use PayPal,
Yeah,
right? You can use Stripe. You can use any of those pay portals that's attached to your website. Have them go to your website and buy,
yeah.
but not to use that as, I have people going, "Oh, if you don't use Zelle, I can't send you anything." Excuse me? What does Zelle got to do with business?
So as your co-host and your business partner, I often refer to you as a super consultant, and maybe we should let our audience know what we think a super consultant is and what qualities do you have to have as a consultant to be deemed a super consultant. So what do you think that is, Crystal?
Well, for me as a super consultant, I guess if I'm going to use it, somebody asked me, Vermont Slauson the other day wanted me to give them a synopsis of my skill sets. And so most people think that use my bookkeeping and accounting services, that's all I do. That's not all that I do.
Yeah.
I teach, I train, I coach, I motivate, I inspire. I'm not one to tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what the realities are in your business, and if I have to uh go a little hard in order to get you to move to that next level, then I don't have a problem doing that. But I do it with love, and I do it because, I tap into what is the passion? Why are you even here? Why do you want to have this business? What are your goals? What do you want it to do for you? How do you want it to change and impact your life? So I think it's beyond just the cursory um, coaching. Somebody come to you and they say, "Hey, this is what I need," and you just leave it right there. No, I think
And
it's
you,
it's
you
a, it's a whole holistic vision of what you want.
and you also bring your more than 25 years of industry experience to the table, as well as a knowledge base that adjusts itself to different situation. You have that situational leadership approach that each situation requires a different solution, a different approach to the solution. So that's what you bring to the table also. And in your bag of tricks, you can reach down there and anything can come out that will solve a problem. You know,
Yeah, it
so
does.
that's how super consultants operate, as opposed to sticking to just a list of things. You will whip up some things that people don't even know exist and it solves their problems.
Yeah, I'll go to my big kettle pot and I'll do some stirring around and I'll
Yes,
come up with some new solutions. I do a lot of research.
yes. A lot of
So I have
reading.
a lot of reading. I have a lot of resources. I don't mind sharing. Um, I love collaborating. I'm not territorial. I think I have my own unique sizzle sauce, so I'm not afraid of somebody stealing or offering the same things that I offer, because I'm gonna deliver it my way. But at the same time, I don't have a problem helping you. If we're helping the same population, then I don't mind working as a team in order to help the end result. So I'm very confident in the skill sets that I have, and I'm very confident in the outcomes that I'm looking for. So for me, that's what a super consultant is that if you're taking on the task to help someone reach their goals and their dreams, then you're taking on the task. And I think I get that because I work with kids, so it's not one dimensional.
Hmm.
I have to mold them into these entrepreneurs. So
Right.
I do that for my adults. I mold you into the entrepreneur that I think that you're capable of being.
And that they have to be, and you have to be also in the ready mode at all times.
Yes.
You got to be prepared because anything could happen and you want to be ready for that. So,
And I think you have to make sure you're investing in yourself. Every
mhm,
business owner, every consultant, every coach, you can't stay in the status quo. You have
mhm,
to always be investing in bettering yourself,
mhm,
bettering your knowledge,
mhm.
increasing your knowledge, and expanding your capacity so that you can reach more people.
So what does Women's History Month mean to you as a female entrepreneur and as a business owner?
I think as a women, the Women History Month is really a good time for us to elevate our sisters, my sisters, to elevate us to the highest capacity that we can achieve, to celebrate those of us that are successful in the areas in our industries and spaces that that we're in. I think that we should champion for us to continue to grow and to embrace and inspire and motivate. And I think this is that time. I think women don't get all of the accolades that they deserve. Just like when we read all those statistics, there's things there that we didn't know about, right? And it doesn't matter, especially if you're Black.
Right.
We need to be supporting each other and collaborating and trying to better our communities and our families and so forth. But even from a place of being a woman in business, I think we should be our biggest cheerleading squads for each other.
And also, it's a moment of awareness and recognition where some people who don't know the story or don't understand the history, for you to tell your story so they'll understand how the cake was made.
Yeah,
Not how they want it to
exactly.
be made.
Yeah,
How it
how the
was
cake
made.
was made,
Yes.
and just celebrating the fact that you've come up with these amazing businesses, and we want to support those businesses,
Right.
and we want everyone to know that you've created this amazing business,
Yes.
and that and we want you to reach your riches.
Right.
And as Gloria says, whatever that sky the limit is, whatever the limit is for you,
Right.
we want you to get there.
Yes.
Because as all that information we talked about earlier,
Yes.
those are some amazing numbers.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes. And Crystal, you have done so many for not only small business but also for women-owned businesses. I mean, you've taken many groups from just basic status to wow, now we can move on to next level, and you need to be recognized for that. I mean, a lot of people may not know about it, and that's why I brag about you every day. I pat you on the shoulder so hard because I know you're not going to pat yourself on the shoulder. You know, you represent an organization called the Women's Business Center, and those women love you. You've done so much for them. So we just want people to know that you're not just there for a social club gathering. You're there because you're providing resources and advice and information that's elevating those women and bettering their lives.
Yes, and again, I think, it I teach a class on understanding your why. So before you even start a business, launch whatever you're doing, you should understand why you're doing it
Yeah.
and understand what is your purpose for being on this planet.
Yeah.
And so I know what my purpose is, and so I stand and I live in my purpose, and I believe that purpose is to help other people achieve their dreams and their goals especially through business,
Yeah.
and to make sure that they can take care of their families with pride and confidence. And so that's what I do. I walk in my powerful why, and I deliver the services and using the tools that God gave me in order to do that. And I love every single day that I'm in business. I've been on my own doing my own business for over 30 years. Again, I love to collaborate. Most of the projects and things that I work on that's important to me, I'm working with other people, and other people like yourself. You're good at what you do. I don't have to micromanage. You are awesome, and you are you and if I come up with these great ideas, most of the people that are in my world, they're like, okay, well, let's give it a try, which is, the podcasting thing that I'm into now. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. And let's give it a try. And so that is the kind of people that I like doing business with. People that, we don't have to sit and meet about it all day long forever. You guys can catch on to my excitement and go, yeah, let's give it a try. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then we don't worry about it. And we all come to the table equally yoked, so to speak, and we make it happen. And that's just, I think, what business should be: make it happen.
Well, if I need to remind some people out there about what Crystal Mitchell does, you probably just heard who she is. But if I need to remind you what she does, I want to step back a little bit and tell you this. She is the executive director of Recycling Black Dollars. It's an amazing organization that helps the market resources, skills, and the pool of expertise of Black entrepreneurs in the community. It's got a resource guide that you can tap into to see who can provide what services for what environment. So that's an amazing thing. The next thing is she is the founder and owner of the community briefing program that goes on every Thursday on Zoom. It's a Zoom program that she does in the community, which was born out of this pandemic that we had, the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Crystal was the first to the microphone to say, hey, let's share some resources in the community to let people know what's happening, what they can have, what they don't need to be involved in that can help them help their family and help their business. She was the first to do that. So I just want to give you kudos for that. The second thing is she is the co-owner of the Business Zone, the show that we're on right now that you guys are watching and hearing all this great information. Crystal is a co-owner of that too. And she came with the idea 5-6 years ago, and we decided to put our heads, our brains, and our pocket, our money from our pockets to the table, and that's how that was born. So, and she's got other ventures going on. She runs a tennis program also, and she helps kids on weekends, help them to develop their tennis skills and their abilities. She takes them to play tournaments all over the country. So she's phenomenal. That's why we call her the Superwoman. I gotta order a cape for
her. And somebody said they just exhausted hearing all the things that I do.
She's phenomenal. And plus, on top of that, she runs her business. She has her own business called Mitchell Business Solutions. So she provides a lot of resources for small businesses in accounting, bookkeeping, business management. She also is a speaker. So if you want to have her at any of your events to speak on issues regarding entrepreneurship, business, community, you name it, she is there. How am I doing so far, Crystal?
One more thing with the kids. That's that's the
don't
forget my children, my
program.
babies.
I'll let you speak to that one because that is your baby. Go ahead, Crystal.
So the one thing that I'm really, really proud about is that I teach young people how to be entrepreneurial. My parents were entrepreneurs, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, and so I love creating new entrepreneurs, and I think providing platforms for young people to grow into is something that I really derive a lot of pleasure for. So that's what I do. I run programs in the summertime. Actually, it's not year-round. One's called Biz Camp. Biz Institute is the parent, and we teach kids how to become entrepreneurs. So I dedicate about a month every summer to working with kids. 50 kids actually, and they come up with an idea. We go through the ideation stage, and then we develop that into a feasible business opportunity, and we create the business model, and then the kids pitch that business, and then they go to multiple competitions, and they receive monetary rewards for their business, and the purpose of that is to help them develop capital for that business. So just giving them the ground floor, the platforms to start their world, and we encourage them to go to college. We can encourage them to get their degrees, but then we give them another opportunity to create a business. I even encourage them to go to work for corporate America for at least 10, 15 years so that they understand what it is to run a successful business. But I also encourage them to learn why they're there. That is not just don't go in there as just an employee, but go in there as a student. And I always say the corporate America is your PhD. And so utilize that. And then when it's time to graduate, then go out there and rock the world and make a big impact to be who you are. So that's something that I really care about, is making sure that the kids have, our young people have all the opportunities in the world presented to them.
So, folks, you've heard it here on the Business Zone from Crystal Mitchell herself. She's a superwoman, a super consultant, and just an amazing individual. You know, she just went to let off some steam a few days ago. She was in a balloon, air balloon, up there, enjoying herself. So she works hard and she plays hard, folks. So I just want to let you know she's in phenomenal. And all the things you've heard, man, this is just some of it. You haven't even heard some of the other stuff yet. I haven't even told you about the gardening program she's got. She's just phenomenal.
Thank you, Gloria. Gloria's going whoop, whoop. Now, I have to step back. So yeah, I'm super coach, but so is Gilbert. And we want to, and Gloria and I just had this conversation the other day, is that how phenomenal you are, Gilbert. And I don't think people really know to the full extent of what you bring to the business world.
Thank
so
you.
She and I want to make sure that you know that we highly respect what you do and that you're awesome at what you do.
Thank you, co-host, and thank you, Gloria. I appreciate
right, Gloria?
You know, Gloria taught a class for me on the SBA Navigator program last week, and on pricing. She was phenomenal, and I don't know if she realized how phenomenal she was. She's getting all kinds of kudos from the participants, from even my cohorts for over at Las Vegas Urban League. You know, they love what they were hearing from her. So she's done well. So Gloria, you two are good, okay? And we're here.
And I don't know why we haven't had Gloria on the Business Zone.
I know.
Gloria, I'm going to send you the link, my dear, and I want you to schedule for this month so you can come tell everyone. And Gloria just kind of popped on the scene a couple years ago.
Yes.
And she is making her way in the community, really making us, you know, she's taking the LA by a storm. And so you all need to know about Gloria as well.
Yes, Gloria June. She is phenomenal.
She says she's not a media person. All right, Gloria.
So, folks, you've heard today from my co-host, Crystal Mitchell, her perspective on Women's History Month and her perspective as a contributing consultant in the marketplace. From a woman's standpoint, you also heard some great statistics that she has provided on women entrepreneurs in the marketplace. So this is what we do every week, folks. We talk about issues and information that's valuable to you, the entrepreneur, or you, just a community person who wants to hear some stuff that you can either share with someone you know or grow. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4:30. Today is almost 5 o'clock because the story was so good.
We did an old school 2 hours.
We did an old school 2 hours because the story was so good. Crystal had a lot of information to share. So, folks, we want to thank you for watching the Business Zone every week. And please go over and subscribe. We're on YouTube, and we're on YouTube Live. So check that out. And the copy of this show will be on YouTube. We'll post it again so you guys can have it. And we're also on Facebook. And Crystal, we're on LinkedIn. Are we?
We're on LinkedIn. Yeah, everything it populates there. And we are on your favorite podcasting channel. So this episode, actually, I'm gonna divide this episode into two. And so both of them will be up in in any podcasting channel that you listen to. iTunes, Apple Tunes, Google Play, any of them, Spotify. So find it over there. Hey, Listanza, how are you? So we want to just make sure you guys know that Gilbert and I take our our commitment to our community, to the business community, very seriously. And this is one of our ways of doing that. So anyone that wants to be a guest on the show, we'd love for you to come on and highlight your expertise. We want you to grow as well. And the more people know that you're out there being the great people that you are, the better that is for our community. For the ladies out there, ladies, we're gonna whoop it up the whole entire month. The world is going to know that we exist, and you're gonna let them know what your business is, and pat yourself on the back and cheer for yourself, and just from the rafters. Hope that it's treating. Yes, the new year is absolutely fine. Yeah, you want to just shout out what you do. We want you to make as much money as possible, and then you can't do that if people don't know that you exist. So let everybody know what your business is. Do it to you the best of your ability. Do it with sass and sizzle, and so that folks don't forget you, and make sure you're expanding your network during this month, because that's what we want to do. So we are celebrating Black History Month, and you guys need to check it out. Come back next week. We should have a nice guest next week, and we will continue to bring some amazing information.
Sounds great. Sounds great, folks. So tune in every week, 3 to 4:30 on the Business Zone. Subscribe so we can send you notification. And it's that time again, Crystal, that we got to say so long until next week.
So long, everyone. See you next Friday.
Bye, everyone.
Come on back. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Latanza. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care now. We're out.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.